Craft to think, what is our back to school photo day going to be like?
Oh my goodness. Well, let's go. It's hot and it's humid. A day where there's still a little bit of a rain chance. I know, but I think most of your recess today, there's going to be play outside. So even though I'm tracking a little spotty shower this morning from Brazoria County, and then notice the extreme southeast portion there of Harris County. So an isolated shower is possible early, but really this picks up for your afternoon. You can think between 2 to 6 o'clock later today. That's when some of these showers and a few thunderstorms really start to fire up. Areas just south of Alvin, Brookside Village. Okay, there's a little shower closing in. So we could see an isolated shower. You may have to use those windshield wipers, but a better chance for widely scattered activity. Take a look. 1 o'clock this afternoon, approaching 2 when we start to reach our peak daytime heating through about 4 and 5 o'clock. That's when I'm expecting widely scattered showers to even a developing thunderstorm. Today, about a quarter to a half inch of rain is expected. Notice we push repeat for your Wednesday. Tomorrow you start off dry. By Wednesday afternoon, widely scattered showers, even a few thunderstorms. Every day this week, we're tracking those daily downpours. By Thursday morning, we could start off with some coastal showers, and that potentially starts to move inland by about midday and the afternoon. Jen, it's for so many people, not a washout, but I would be prepared with that umbrella.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, you've been warning us, so Chita, yeah.
Of course. You've got to keep it all in the family.
Yeah,
you know?
that's what I was going to say. Yeah, I mean, I guess that there was a hint with the New York and like different hints coming out yesterday, and in fact, these announcements are so carefully choreographed.
And ongoingly, too. This has been a long while that Taylor Swift fans have been holding on tightly.
Like, come on. She owns her music. Now a new album. It's like, go Taylor.
Is it 12th era or something like that?
Yeah, I think
Isn't that
so.
incredible?
Yeah.
Her
She just
concert
keeps going.
was 3 hours. Now we'll just
Make it 5.
extend it. Exactly. Well, I know it's a big back to school day. You know, weather for the most part, I think, but it's not a washout, okay? Today you have about a 40% chance of that isolated thunderstorm later this afternoon. Live look at the radar this morning. We're really quiet. We're mostly dry, so we're starting off drier than yesterday, but it's these little spotty showers. They're going to be a nuisance this morning. So if you run into this, notice just south of Brookside Village, this is closer into the bay. Most of this is raining itself out, so I'm not expecting showers to impact a lot of you this morning. I just don't want you to be caught off by surprise. So if you have to use the windshield wipers just a couple of times, don't be surprised. Now this morning, if you're walking to the bus stop, good morning, 80 degrees out the door. It is a very sticky start to the day. Heading home, if you're picking those kids up from the bus stop later this afternoon, you're going to meet them there. You could be dodging a few downpours. So I would have the umbrella on standby if you're meeting the kiddos later today. If you are on carpool duty later this afternoon, you may have to pick up the kiddos in a few downpours. Again, a 40% chance heading home later this afternoon, you'll run into not only a few showers, but a few thunderstorms. Future track becomes a little bit more widely scattered just after lunchtime. So I think most of the kiddos will get some outside play throughout the day, but there may be times where if you hear a rumble of thunder, you got to bring them indoors. Lightning could be present. Notice by the afternoon, 4:30, 5 o'clock, if those after school practices maybe on an open field are getting going, not out of the question, a few of them could be delayed. I don't think any cancellations. I'm not expecting severe weather, but an isolated thunderstorm, you know, that could last 20, 25 minutes, and then pretty much it rains itself out. Tomorrow we push repeat, so I'll get you into Wednesday. Thursday about the same as well. Every single day this week, an isolated daily downpour will be possible. Yesterday, Tropical Storm Erin developed just before 10 a.m. Expected to stay a tropical storm until Thursday, late Wednesday or Thursday. That's when it could become our first hurricane of the season, mostly staying in the open waters of the Atlantic, staying just north of the Caribbean, north of Puerto Rico. And the reason, this stationary area of high pressure, basically going to be centered right around Bermuda this upcoming weekend, is going to help be the upper level steering current that takes this energy up and around it and keeps it in the Atlantic. So just north of the Caribbean, no impacts expected in Texas and maybe in the U.S. at this point. So notice the peak of hurricane season is September the 10th, and we are heading into the peak of hurricane season. So mid-August through mid-September is when we start to see that storm count ramp up. Fernand would be the next name on the list after Erin, and then Gabriel. So we are just checking off the boxes here. Temperature-wise, we're in the mid mid-90s today. Similar there for tomorrow. Notice on your 7-day forecast, every day we're tracking the chance for a daily downpour. Notice this drop down to a 20% chance Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Temperature-wise this weekend, we will be close to hitting that triple-digit point. I think we'll come close, but just stay a hair below. Until then, Jen, all the boxes. It's hot, it's humid, but an afternoon downpour will be possible.
You know, yesterday,
Watching the weather really closely for everyone.
Yes, and this morning you have this little tiny, again, nuisance shower. Not much here. Right along the bay, you have a few showers, but otherwise, your grounds are dry this morning. Welcome back to school, HISD. Now, if it is a bus stop kind of a morning for you, again, overall, mostly dry. I would say a spotty shower is possible. Temperatures are in the 70s and 80s. Exciting. Now, later this afternoon, if you're meeting the kiddos at the bus stop where they're going to get off, not out of the question, you could be dealing with a few downpours, or maybe you're on carpool duty. Well, you could be dealing with a few downpours right around 2, 3, 4 o'clock this afternoon. This just continues with our wet weather pattern. Every single day this week, we'll be tracking the chance for these daily downpours. Today, a 40% chance, 30 for your Wednesday and Thursday. And then, Jen, did you see Trop developed yesterday?
Okay.
I'll show you when this could become a hurricane coming up in just a little bit.
oh, all right,
Yes.
Stan. I mean,
I'm so glad everybody was safe.
Right. It was just a couple of weeks ago, actually, that I was a couple hours away from here dropping off one of the kids, and I could feel electricity in the air, and the bolt came like maybe 2 blocks away, like saw it. I'd never been so close, but I could feel the electricity everywhere, like I was about to be shocked. It was incredible.
The
well, I
senses
feel like
were going off.
Yeah,
when
no, really.
lightning hits so close to you, you're just like,
It is a jolt. It is, and you can usually hear the thunder along with it, and that is why it's a safety concern. Usually we use the 10-10 rule, so you have to wait 10 minutes if lightning is within 10 miles to be able to safely go back outside. But I always say when thunder roars, head indoors.
I know you
do. So that's an easy one. But yeah, today that may be the case. So I'm across the bay, not really impacting anybody, but you may see some of those clouds building off into the distance. I'm expecting clouds to continue to build in for the afternoon, and this is when we could see some widely scattered showers and thunderstorms. So notice 1:30 this afternoon. Here are some of those showers that ramp up. Even a few thunderstorms that could have lightning. A quick ½ an inch of rain is very possible. 1:30 getting into about 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon. So here's the evening commute home. Still tracking a few downpours. It's not area wide, but a few of these downpours could produce some heavy downpours where it quickly maybe reduces your visibility, does have some frequent lightning and some gusty winds. Tomorrow we repeat this process. No severe weather expected, but a few heavy downpours very possible for Wednesday afternoon and then getting into your Thursday as well. These are just those sea breeze showers and thunderstorms that peak during when our heat peaks as well. Our temperatures peak in the afternoon. So far this month, I know we're only at the 12th, but we've seen only about 1/10 of an inch of rain. So typically we're over an inch. We actually do still need a little bit of rain. So maybe today at the big airport, they'll pick up some, so those accumulations start to go up a little bit higher. Temperature-wise, I'm expecting mid-90s, so really where temperature should be for this time of the year, but it's the heat index values. The feels like temperatures are in the low 100s. So still very hot, still humid. Make sure those kiddos are drinking plenty of water throughout the day today. Watch them if you can, or if you're spending some time outside, make sure you're seeking shade or air conditioning right when you start to feel yourself getting overheated. Check this out. Tropical Storm Erin right now could become the first major hurricane by the upcoming weekend. I think it stays just north of Puerto Rico. I know Bad Bunny has his residency right now, so a lot of people heading to Puerto Rico for Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, some of those concerts through the summer. So this upcoming weekend, if that is your travel destination, I do think Tropical Storm Erin will stay just north of, but it does get close. It wraps around a big area of high pressure. No impacts here locally from Erin. Okay, nothing in Texas and maybe even the U.S. Fernand will be the next name on the list. Hurricane season is starting to get into its peak, especially for the Atlantic Basin. It peaks on September the 10th, but really mid-August through mid-September is when we typically start to see that storm count ramp up, which is exactly what's happening right now. The rain chances every single day, again, those are sea breeze showers, a few thunderstorms for the afternoon, not severe weather, but if you're caught in one of those downpours, it can reduce your visibility, and it can come down pretty heavy. High temps ramp up into the upper 90s as we head into the upcoming. We will come close Saturday or Sunday to maybe triple digits.
Once again,
Storm Aaron that developed yesterday could become our first hurricane and potentially major hurricane by the upcoming weekend.
Across the Houston area this morning to get you ready for your first day of school, and we want to pass it over to Chita Craft right away to kick things off. Cheetah, bus stop forecast.
I'm so excited, okay? First day of school. I hope you're excited too. This morning we're overall mostly dry, so the big part of our radar this morning, not a whole lot to talk about. We have had a very nuisance shower. Take a look right over Brookside Village, just south of, and also toward the bay this morning, but otherwise I think it's a dry start. So if you typically walk to the bus stop for this morning, your bus stop forecast, a spotty nuisance shower is possible, but really some of these showers and thunderstorms ramp up for your afternoon. Think between 2 p.m. through about 6 o'clock this evening, we reach our peak daytime heating, and that will be the best chance for these showers and thunderstorms. I think widely scattered, maybe picking up about a quarter to a half inch of rain. Isolated amounts could be more than that, and some of these thunderstorms could have some frequent lightning. So remember, if you hear thunder, it's time to bring it on inside. But most of you, I think at least for the first day of school, will be able to get some outside play in throughout the day today. Notice 2 o'clock this afternoon, future track, that's when it becomes a little bit more widely scattered and continues through about 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. Jen, for the most part, roads are dry now.
yes, very good news. I would say to keep up with you long-legged women, I have to like.
And now to demonstrate, Cheetah will walk around this desk
Yes,
so
yes, I
fast
will.
she can't
Yes,
sing.
it's my favorite thing. Or to walk to the green screen.
That's right.
Just my
Fast
favorite
walk
thing to
over
do.
to the green screen.
I know, that is good to know. 15 minutes a day, I feel like that's doable.
I can do it.
Sure.
15
Very
minutes, I was
doable.
like, okay, I'm glad we didn't go too much there. But speaking of,
Yeah,
our
fast
producers
walk.
like to go in. Am I going? Okay, let me see how fast I can go. All right. I bought these new heels off of Amazon. So day of school. So are you guys going to be fast walking out there? I've always heard you got to move your arms faster. Okay, so maybe that'll help. Good morning. For the most part, you are starting off dry. A spotty shower this morning is possible, but it's really during pickup. So the bus stop coming home, if you meet the kiddos at the bus stop this afternoon, chances are you may run into a downpour. So have the umbrella on standby later today. Maybe if you're heading off to work this morning, it's this afternoon. If you have any afternoon meetings for your evening commute, that's when it could be a little messy out on the roadways. So for the most part, you are dry across the board. I have been tracking this nuisance shower just south of Brookside Village this morning. It's practically rained itself out with the exception of maybe just a few little sprinkles. This is really close to Friendswood. So if you're waking up in Friendswood this morning, you may run into an isolated little shower, but otherwise it is a dry start to the first day of school for so many out there. This afternoon, 2 o'clock, notice these downpours potentially from Katy to Sugarland, Spring, even into the Woodlands. So a 40% chance today that you'll run into some of these showers, and not only showers, but even a few thunderstorms. They could have frequent lightning, some heavy downpours. It could even reduce your visibility for just a little bit. Then we repeat this process for tomorrow. So your Wednesday, overall tomorrow morning, you're mostly dry, then widely scattered showers and thunderstorms for tomorrow afternoon. If the kiddos have any practices today, maybe on an open field, not out of the question that we could have some lightning. And that's the case every day this week. Heat, humidity, and a daily downpour. Nice shots this morning from Galveston over Herman Park into the Med Center this morning. Notice that the clouds are starting to build in. I think through the afternoon hours, that's when we squeeze a few of those raindrops out of those clouds. Let's talk tropics. Tropical storm Aaron developed just before 10 a.m. yesterday. Expected to remain a tropical storm today. For the most part tomorrow. But by Thursday, so late Wednesday into Thursday, that's when we could have our first hurricane of the season in the Atlantic Basin and potentially major hurricane as we get into Friday and Saturday. Big area of high pressure, centered basically over Bermuda. You get clockwise flow around an area of high pressure. So these are the upper level steering currents. It's going to grab a hold of this energy and help tug it in that clockwise direction. That's what I think is going to keep it just north of the Caribbean, just north there of Puerto Rico. Fernand will be the next name on the list if you're keeping track. Statistically, we are heading into the peak of hurricane season, which happens on September the 10th. So it is this time of the year. Jen, it's really important you stay close to the forecast. And even each day this week, we could be dealing with some of those downpours out there. So heads up.
Packing the umbrella.
It's a blur, but hopefully you're organized. Maybe you're already thinking about breakfast or what you're going to pack for lunch today. It's exciting. I hope everybody has just the best first day. Temperatures this morning, 70s and 80s. So it is a sticky start to the day. If you're walking the kiddos out to the bus stop this morning, prepare for the heat and the humidity. Now, a nuisance shower possible, but really downpours expected by the afternoon. Think 1, 2 o'clock. So maybe the bus ride home today could be a little bit messy, or if you're on carpool duty later this afternoon, you could be dodging a few raindrops as you pick the kiddos up from the first day. Now, just south of Brookside Village, this is that little nuisance shower that I've been tracking all morning. It's basically raining itself out, but also toward Friendswood. Don't be surprised if maybe you catch a few sprinkles out the door early. This really intensifies, though, this afternoon. Think a 40% chance for the overall coverage today, a quick quarter to a half inch of rain. This kind of settles down by 7:30 this evening. We're dry overnight, and then we repeat this process for tomorrow. So, Jen, even though the roads are dry this morning, it could be messy soon. Early evening commute home later.
And
we got to have a moment with Alex Bregman, but they didn't win. We got to edge them out. I don't know how it could have worked out better.
Well, it's got to feel good for him to come back here and hit a home run like that.
I know.
and both were so well received.
That's exciting.
Forecast a good one?
Yeah, it is. For at lunchtime, I have about a 20% chance of a stray shower. Notice this is noon, but really becomes widely scattered once we get to about 2 o'clock this afternoon. So that's just leading up to carpool duty. So if you're on pickup later today, you could be dodging a few raindrops out there. An isolated thunderstorm possible. Some of these thunderstorms will be capable of producing some lightning, gusty winds, heavy downpours, and then we repeat this process tomorrow for your Wednesday. So you'll start off mostly dry, then with our peak daytime heating, these thunderstorms will start to fire up, so a quick quarter to a half inch of rain is possible. Thursday, a little bit of a different story. We could see some coastal showers early, and then that starts to spread inland as we get into the midday and for your afternoon. But every single day this week, we're tracking these daily downpours. Now, this is a live look across the skyline this morning. Notice the clouds that are in place. That's high humidity. Clouds act like a blanket overnight, so it traps the daytime heating. Temperatures are in the upper 70s to low 80s. 96 this afternoon, mid-90s Wednesday and Thursday. We are staying in the mid-90s thanks to the rain. Now, let's say you're in an area that you don't pick up any rain today, like yesterday at Bush, high of 97 with no rain. And statistically, that's just 1 degree above average. We should be 96 for this time of the year. So looking at August in review, we have seen 3 triple-digit days, 3 100-degree days in the month of August, but overall 7 days above average, 1 just where we should be at 96. So we will see. Today I'm forecasting a high of 96, which is again just about average. Yesterday, just before 10 a.m., tropical storm Erin developed. Did you hear that? Do we have any Erins watching out there? Yeah, tropical Category 1 hurricane, potentially late Wednesday or Thursday. But this is the thing, Jacob, Alona, this area of high pressure, it's stationary over Bermuda, and you get clockwise flow around high pressure. So I think that's what's going to drive most of this moisture and energy up just north of the Caribbean, so no impacts expected here.
Okay, so smooth sailing for us, which is great.
Yes, it is. You know, when a tropical storm develops, especially a hurricane, this will be the first hurricane in the Atlantic Basin of 2025. You know, all ears has been doing. He's there pretty much all summer, and he does these concerts every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's a popular destination. A lot of people have been asking, like, what's going on with Puerto Rico? I think it stays just north of there, so I don't think there will be any interruptions with land. The next name on the list is Fernand, and statistically, we ramp up with our hurricane season mid-August through mid-September, and that's what's happening in the Atlantic Basin right now. There's already a tropical wave behind that one. So, guys, besides that, this has nothing to do with Tropical Storm Erin. We have a few.
Thank you, Chita. Let's get right over